Hi, Aries. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to August. We are here and ready to find out what's going on. I'm going to be reading from three decks today. I'm going to start with soul cards and then we'll go to the Enchanted map by Colette Baron Reed, and then I'm going to do your tarot reading from the Tarot Illuminati. I'll promise I'm going to leave that information in the description box below. So if you are into decks, you can go and check those decks out. So I'm going to do a 1-3. So one card from the soul cards just to give us some direction and focus. And then after that, I'm going to do three cards from Enchanted Map, and then we'll just let ourselves be free with the tarot and let the tarot lead us. All right, so the first card up for Aries is this one right here. And what I'm seeing in this card is this combination of fire and water. There's fire and there's water here. And so that is, for me, it represents a deeper spiritual connection. When we combine fire and water, it seems like two opposite things. Fire being, fire, and it's, you light it from something dry. It has to be dry in order to light it. And then when you light the fire, the smoke goes up into the heavens, which for us represents being able to communicate to the spiritual realm. It's like you send up your prayers with smoke. And when you send up your prayers with smoke, then the spirits see or hear those prayers, and then they return answers for us through that or through other means. And then with the water, this is about your feeling place, your emotional place, which is connected to your intuition as well. So there are places where fire and water overlap, and they overlap where we are connecting to spirit, or where you, Aries, will be connecting to spirit and paying attention to your emotions. So, whatever the emotion is, roll with it. Don't try to deny it. Don't try to downplay it. So if you are feeling sad, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling lost, just be with it. If you're feeling excited, and don't, talk down on it or bad on it and be like, oh, I'm feeling really great today, I hope it lasts. Don't add those negative verbiages at the end of it. Just be where you are with your emotions in the month of August. I'm seeing this being a healing thing for you. It is something that may require healing within you. And so this process for you is a healing process. And the process is, one, getting in touch with your emotions, and two, sending your prayers up to spirit and allowing spirit to answer you back, and being open to receive that. In this card, I hope you can see it, there's all this white space kind of around the character or the individual or the image there, the person in the card. And for what that means to me is clearing, being clear, or clearing the slate. So this is about clearing the slate for you, getting rid of maybe some feelings that you may have had before that were unresolved. Being able to get in touch with those emotions, seeing where they come from and why they exist, so that you're not fighting anything. You're just kind of allowing yourself to be. And I'm seeing this with the hands being a healing process for you. I'm also seeing right here in the middle of the chest of this character a star. So for those of you who are star seeds or star children, this message is particularly significant to you and your star seed work that you'll be doing moving forward after August. So while you're in the month of August, you are dealing with your emotional state, facing the emotions that that come up for you during the month, and then making your prayers or sending your prayers to spirit about that. If it's something that needs to be released, then you're praying for the release. If it's something that you want to feel more of, then you are giving gratitude or giving thanks for how you feel today. If I'm feeling particularly great today, then you're giving thanks and giving gratitude, which acknowledges to spirit that which you want to feel and continue to feel. And then it allows spirit to help you release any old emotions that may have been coming up for you in the past. So that's what August is bringing you. All right, so I am going to be pulling again 3 cards from the Enchanted map, and I'm going to the map because when we're dealing with emotional issues, or if you're navigating the emotions, then you want some guidance, or sometimes we need a roadmap to help us with that, and so I like to go to the map for that. Again, I'm going to be pulling 3 cards for Aries today that relate to this card from the Soul cards about the fire and the water, or the realm of emotions and the realm of spirit and the healing that has to take place around that. Just 3 cards, please. All right, so the first card that came up is number 54, which translates into a 9. 9 is where we are ending cycles or completing cycles. And in that place, we have the card that is called encouragement. And so be encouraged, Aries. Know that whatever it is that you're feeling, is for your own good, and it is to push you along. It is to nudge you a little further in your maturation process, your spiritual maturation. If you look, we have the giraffe, which is a really great animal to to consider when you're talking about this, because the giraffe has this really long neck, which implies that it can see head and above everything else that's going on around it. Its view, of course, is going to be from a higher perspective than other animals that are closer to the ground, which means that you can see ahead, and it's looking ahead for you and looking further down the road for yourself and being encouraged by what it is that you see. And certainly, if you are burning away some of the sadness or some of the depression, or it even could be just things that have been lurking in the deep of your consciousness that need to come out, then that will give you the ability to see a little further down the road, because you're not bogged down with, emotions that are old and that have been dragging you down or keeping you, you know, I'm going to say lower for lack of a better term. When we think about higher, we're thinking about higher frequencies. Again, for those of you who are star seeds or star children, and you know that you have some work to do around this, it's to help elevate you or get you seeing things at a higher frequency. Okay. There looks like to me that there may be somebody around you who is doing this. This could be an older person, could be a guide, could be a teacher, or just could be a friend that maybe has gone down this road before, or has already traversed some of this territory that can help you. But again, that person will be encouraging, not discouraging, because we don't want discouragement. We want encouragement. And that's what I think that you're going to be looking for. Those people who give you an encouraging word, or even if they're speaking to you about something that you need to work on, that they're not talking to you critically, or they're not giving criticism, but they're still encouraging the positive parts of yourself or the positive sides of yourself. And so the next card that we have is listening, and that's a 53, which breaks down to an 8 for those of you who are paying attention to the numerology of things. Listening. So, of course, when somebody is encouraging you, then you'll want to listen to what it is that they're saying. Sometimes what happens with us is that people will encourage us and will go about this, we'll deny it, especially if we feel like we're not used to being encouraged. Then when people tell you something positive, you'll say, oh, it's just this, or, you'll just kind of poo poo it. We call it poo pooing it. But it's listening, and it's also about listening within. It's listening to the song of your own heart. It's listening to the beat of your own drum. And by being a 53 being an 8, this is like that 8s represent the cycles of life, and where we make connections in that cycle of life. And so listening is making that connection. And I am getting very strongly to listen within. Listen within. As you can see, this elephant, also another interesting animal here, because elephants are known for their memory. And they are also known for their ability to connect to those who are in their clan, in their family, who are a part of the tribe, so to speak. They're very connected to that. So I'm also getting here to connect and listen to your ancestors. You may want to build an ancestor altar during this time, but also just using memory as a tool for listening in. I think that's especially going to be significant when you're dealing with these emotions. Emotions are sometimes tied to, not sometimes, emotions are oftentimes tied to memory. And so not letting the remembering be a problem, or not letting the memory be a painful thing. But even if it is a painful memory, allow the memory to take you to the pain so that you can resolve it. Yeah. All right, one more card for direction for Aries, please, for the month of August. Just one more. One more word of encouragement for Aries, please, for the month of August. All right, I had 3, but I'm going to pull the one that's closest to me. Again, another 9, 27, breaking down to a 9, home. Home is where the heart is. And we're talking about your heart. We're talking about the emotion. Emotions come from the heart. So where your heart is where home is. And where home is where this emotional, where your emotional state stems from. A lot of us are still emoting from our childhood, from things that may have happened early on in our lives, or in the earlier part of our experience here on planet Earth. So, touching bases with how your emotional self has evolved from childhood to now, looking at key moments that changed your outlook, that changed your feelings about life, or that changed your feelings about another person close to you, or that changed your feelings about yourself, or that actually changed the way that you express your emotion. You want to go all the way back to as far as you can remember. And then when you get there again, you want to just kind of gently allow yourself to listen, you know, and to not deny or not try to push away the feeling. That's the main thing that I want to say to you, Aries. We don't want you to push away the feelings that you're feeling, especially the negative ones. So Get your encouragement, listen to those around you who are being encouraging, and also listen within, and then take the time to go all the way back to the beginning and kind of retrace your steps, because this is going to allow you to go a lot deeper into your emotional side. And that's where the secrets are. That's where the messages are. And then that's also where the stuff that needs to be released is. And it's also where the joy is hiding, if there is joy hiding. All right, so we are moving on to Tarot Illuminati. We have the Princess of Swords in reverse. So there is a message that's trying to come through here for you today, Aries. That message is about thinking through. Again, when we were talking about going through the emotional things, sometimes we get caught up in our emotions. We're caught up in the feeling and then we don't think through it. So once you get to the feeling, then you'll want to think about the feeling. You know, give the feeling arms and legs and a personality. Who does it belong to? Where did it come from? What were some of the memories associated? Remember, we're talking about the elephant in memory. What are some of the memories associated with those feelings? And being able to articulate them, because this is also the realm of swords is about your mind. It's about thinking. It's about cognitive ability. It's about step-by-step processes, but it's also about speaking, because you think first and then you speak. The swords are associated with the air sign, and the air signs are, we relate them to speaking and communication as well. So being able to articulate your feelings and not being, and being bold about it. You know, what I love about this image is, you know, this woman in this beautiful red gown, blue gown, and that fiery red hair, to me, is about being bold and unapologetic about how you feel. And that's going to come when you do this work and when you do this work. Because once you're clear, and again, remember we talked about that white area between the fire and the water. Once that clarity comes, once that fire of the spirit comes in and burns off some of these old negative emotions that you may have been harboring and keeping, then you will be able to speak about it unapologetically. And that's what I'm getting from the Princess of Swords here, is that the spirits want you to, they want that to be the transformative process for you in August. Go deal with those feelings so that you can express them and do it unapologetically. Own it. Own your feelings. Own your thoughts. So that when you say something to other people about how you feel, you know, you don't end up backing down or backing out of it because you don't want to deal with, I don't know, somebody that doesn't agree with you, or somebody who has fault with what you're saying. Or if somebody comes back at you and says, well, that's not true. And you're like, no, that's my truth. That's what I know. Why? Because I've done the homework, right? And because I am listening to me and not you. Okay. All right, we have the Fool in reverse here. My feeling about this Fool in reverse is about you're nobody's fool. Okay? You are not just flying out here, randomly, doing things, randomly making decisions, making impulse decisions because you haven't really done the homework, right? What you're doing is doing that so that when you approach life anew, which is what the Fool is all about, you are now walking with some experience. You are now moving forward with this Queen of Wands, confidence, inner confidence, confidence in who you are, not showy, not arrogance, not bravado, not ego. The Queen of Wands is about knowing yourself and being confident in yourself so that you can, again, speak confidently about who you are and walk with this independent nature. There she is holding the cat in her lap. And the cat represents independence. The cat represents itself. If you've ever been around a cat, you know they're unapologetic about who they are. And what they want, they get. And you can't tame a cat. You can't train a cat. The cat comes already self-contained. And so, Aries, that's how you want to be moving in your life. I am seeing the solar plexus chakra for you. Solar plexus is about the will, your will to live. This is also associated with your will, because who you are, how you present in the world, how you project yourself into the world comes from your solar, comes from your inner fire. Again, what are we talking about? The fire of the spirit. So your fire of your inner spirit needs to be awakened. And it's going to get awakened when you go through those processes, when you do your work, and when you start to find the confidence within. You're going to get a handle on it, Aries. You're going to make that happen in August. I feel that. I'm also noticing the sunflowers. So for those of you who are practitioners of Yoruba, or if you are connected to the spirit of Oshun, then August would be a good time for you to connect to the spirit of Oshun, and particularly around what's happening with your will center and being able to present yourself in the best possible light, which is what Oshun always does. She always presents herself in the best possible light. And that light comes from within, comes from that inner confidence. All right, continue to teach us, spirits. Is there anything else that Aries needs to know? All right, we've got the Lovers card up next, and I'm getting that Spirit is really trying to connect you to another person. I don't think that that's happened yet. For some of you, it may have happened already, or some of you, you're still trying to work that out. But it is about bridging opposites, and I see that here with this fire in the water. But I feel like it's bridging the opposites within yourself first. When I was saying to you about dealing with those emotions, both the good emotions and the ones that we think of as bad, there are really no good or bad emotions. They're just emotions that tell us where we are and what's happening. That's all that it is. There's no good or bad emotion. So I hate to use those words, but I'm using them so that you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you feeling up and happy versus you not feeling so good about yourself, or not feeling great today, or feeling depressed, or feeling angry, or feeling sad, or something like that. So I feel like what this Lover's card is in this particular case is about bridging that within yourself so that you know that all of that is you. All of it represents the whole. And then when that happens, then for those of you who are looking for actual relationships, you'll start to be able to draw people that are equally yoked, that are more in alignment with where you are right now. Okay? So do that first, and then I think everything else will work out after that. All right, so we have the World and we have the King of Cups in reverse, both of them coming in reverse. The World represents the finish line. I love this card because it looks like she's coming through the finish line. It is in reverse, so we're going to pay attention to that. And we also have the King of Cups coming in with it, also in reverse. I feel like this is the part that we're talking about with the Lovers card. So it's bridging those opposites within yourself. Again, owning all of who you are, right? And being able to express it unapologetically and without feeling any way about it. And once that happens, it's going to open you up to a new relationship. But as of right now, you're still completing that work, and therefore, this this other being, like we have you in this Queen of Wands position, and don't get so caught up in like the gender of these cards, because we're getting past gender issues now. It really is about what this spirit embodies. So whether you're male or female, we're talking about inner confidence. And then that other person that's going to come along to bring you their love, their benevolence, the other part of what you um the other part that I don't like to say completes you, but that person that's bringing in that other side will be available. I think it's no mistake here that we have wands, which represents fire, and we have cups, which represents water. So again, for those of you who are on a solo path right now, this is your opposite. This is you. This is your fire spirit, your independent nature, your inner confident self, versus the other side of yourself, which is not able to fully express the emotions or isn't actually expressing that other side or the feeling side of yourself. And so I feel like this is where the hiccup is. This may be if you're talking about your inner work, then this is the work that you need to do. This is what's going to allow the confidence to really come to the forefront, because you're going to deal with those emotions that haven't been resolved yet. And by dealing with the emotions that haven't been resolved, then you can be more forthcoming with your feelings. You can be more benevolent with your feelings. And when you're more benevolent with your feelings, then you can certainly be in a better relationship with someone else and with yourself. Okay? So let's see if the cards have anything else to say. Again, that work is still being done, but that's what August is all about. That's why you've got August in front of you. August is the time to do that work. All right, so we have the Two of Swords in reverse. Again, we're talking about making a decision. And this card represents decisions, but I think in your case for August, it really is, again, about bridging those opposites within yourself. It's like really being able to hone in on your emotional side and allowing that emotional side to give rise to your will and to your spirit and to who you really are. And again, being able to do that without apology and without denying the self. So that Two of Swords is bringing those two pieces of yourself together. And I feel like when that happens, there are some decisions that you're going to make. You may be making some very different decisions for yourself, because now you're not operating from that deficit, or you're not operating from denial, or you're not operating from not wanting to truly address the emotions that need to be addressed within you, whatever they may be. So my advice for you, Aries, for August is do this homework. Spend this time digging deep. And if you need to connect with your spiritual guide, if you need a deeper personal reading, or if you want to get a personal reading, of course, you can reach out to me. I'm at Carrie@wooingnature.life, and I'll leave that in the description box. Of course, if you are working with mental health professionals, your therapist or your psychoanalyst or anybody else that you are dealing with, and you need to reach out to them, then do that to dig deeper into that work, and let them know when you get there that that's what you want to do. All right. So as always, I hope you have a great August, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.